So Neetan, let's set some ground rules.
Sure.
We will not use the overused, jargonized words that we are also familiar with. Revitalize, reignite, reimagine.
Yeah.
How about transformation?
Yeah, transformation is a bit of a different ball game.
Yeah, it doesn't start with re for the for
it
one.
doesn't start with re. But also because I actually wrote a book on transformation.
I didn't know that. Tell me more.
It's called Accelerated Digital Transformation.
Yeah.
So I have to use that word.
And it's in your title
And
as well.
it's kind of in my title and job description. But on a more serious note, Alok, I mean, the fact is we do live in transformative times. Right? Yeah. It's a bit of a cliched word, I must say. A lot of people use it perhaps a bit more colloquially than I would prefer. You know, for me, just as a definition, for me, transformative is when the difficulty curve, right, goes exponential, right?
It's just remarkable how IndiGo's journey has been with, you've taken all big, bold bets. I'd love to learn how is it that technology has played such a crucial role in helping IndiGo to be successful.
Listen, I'm here in the country and in IndiGo for the last 3 years. Right? It's been a fascinating 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Every time, I just came back from Melbourne, my kids are there, right? Nice. And you get a bit of a sink in your heart when you come back after leaving kids, right? But the day I land in office, the thing just goes away. You get back to the mission, what IndiGo is trying to achieve. And to some extent, it's existed well before my times, right? So what IndiGo has done is amazing what it has created in our country, becoming the preferred passenger airline, the largest one in India, and now we have all these international kind of aspirations. But I think from a transformation perspective, we have a whole system-wide approach. Right? I call it the 3-layered approach to transformation. We've got what we do, our strategic pillars, what we leave behind, our capabilities, and what we become, the digital mindset of the soul. Right? But if I was to pick up one bold decision that we collectively took, with your help, is encapsulated in the statement, IndiGo now runs 100% on the cloud.
Oh, that is such a profound and a bold statement. Demonstrates the hunger to really be technology-enabled, technology-led, technology-driven. Yeah. It is really remarkable. I acknowledge and congratulate your team for this relentless pursuit about getting to be 100% on the cloud.
On the cloud, yeah. And of course, we had two predominant drivers. One is based on today, right? And one is based on tomorrow, right? As it should be, right? Today our customers expect speed, agility, nimbleness. Wouldn't you? I mean,
This is IndiGo standard time for all practical purposes.
Exactly. Right? And the cloud, as you know, is tuned inherently to give us that, right?
Right.
And so from a current perspective, nimbleness, agility, cost optimization, right, speed is what we get. But I think from a future perspective, right, is this, decade of AI that's going to come in.
Absolutely.
And already existing.
Yeah.
Ability to quickly adopt new innovations. I know, Microsoft now and others are working on quantum AI, right? So getting our foundations ready for the future was the second driver. Right?
Yeah, I mean, look at the agility with which you launched 6C Sky.
Exactly.
That was remarkable, how you got the team together, set the right vision, and it's live and it's driving business for you. So it really is remarkable. And the role that AI will play in helping IndiGo really find new avenues for business growth, for customer enablement, for transformation, that really stands out.
Exactly. It seeps into pretty much everything, right?
Correct.
And you needed a foundation to allow that to happen. And I think the cloud provides that foundation. And hence, we took a bold decision, right? We said, no half measures. Everything runs on the cloud. We switched off our data centers.
Yeah, it really takes, important courage, not just from the tech team, but also the rest of the organization to be glued into that one vision of, hey, we're going to run everything on the cloud. We're going to demonstrate agility, differentiation, and the economics that IndiGo truly stands out for. So Neetan, tell me a little bit more about, how transformation becomes so real. I have CIOs who come and tell me that it becomes really difficult for them to get IT to play such a pivotal role. What's been the story at IndiGo?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, right? Look, I mean, that's why I say some of these things are when the difficulty curve actually goes exponential. Yeah, that's why it's transformation. A couple of things that, I've tried and done, might help some of my colleagues out there. One is, of course, when I came in, just changed the name of the division to digital. Okay? And then I hammered in what does it actually mean, right? So within digital right now, we have, of course, the standard IT that we have to do. But we've also got stuff like marketing, which is totally enabled through digital. The loyalty program, Blue Chip, that we have launched. Right? IndiGo Ventures, right?
If you were to look at what does IndiGo do on a day-to-day basis to make technology so real for everyone, what's the best way to see that?
Yeah, I mean, just think of it, right? 2,200 plus flights, 3.2 lakh customers, right? Every day, on time, hassle-free, right? Affordable fares. It's a huge kind of operational challenge that we have to meet every day, every minute of the day, 365 days, 24 by 7.
For the largest airline in the country, you do need to set the bar.
Yeah, it's quite wonderful what gets executed.
So how do you measure that? What's the best way to see this?
I think the best way is, let's just go over to my colleague Varun, who's our chief architect and head of our lab 37.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
And he's sitting at the OCC, Operational Control Center. If you just look at it, it encapsulates the 24 by 7 mission critical nature of IndiGo.
I'm at the heart of our airline, the OCC. Now you should imagine that we run these flights 365 days a year, and this is not possible without technology. So when we started this digital transformation journey in 2023, we had clearly laid out our transformation plan, starting with cloud migration. We decided that this foundation is necessary for this journey, and we had set 2 outcomes which were very important. One was to complete this journey in 18 months, and to completely power off our data center. With this in mind, we took help from Microsoft. So Microsoft specialists, consultants, and architects, they helped us craft this plan that had to be executed. Now, you would believe that while we were running this project, we were also scaling our business. Now, this typically meant that legacy infrastructure in the data center was equally critical. So while we started creating a competency of cloud migration engineers, specialists, and architects, we crafted a specific team that was managing the legacy infrastructure, which was equally critical. The entire plan started with migrating to cloud using from secondary workloads, and then we migrated non-production workloads, and then finally production workloads. We did 145 migrations in 18 months, which typically means 3 migrations per week. While this journey completed in 18 months, we were also very cognizant of the fact that we cannot increase our cost, what we were having in our data center. So in this entire migration, we thought, let's optimize on the resources what were running in the data center. And we made a lot of architectural changes, and we took a lot of technology decisions working on the Microsoft Azure SKUs. And we ended up being very cost neutral after this migration completed. The biggest advantage of going to cloud happened with us when we started using AI on Azure. We rolled out a capability, 6C Sky, which is a conversational booking channel. All of this is possible with a lot of technology SKUs which are available in the cloud.
Wow. So Neetan, point taken on the the transformation that IndiGo has gone through. Yeah. What does it mean for your customers, your employees? How does that show up? What lights it up?
Yeah, I think, just 2 thoughts there, right? I think one is all transformation finally at the heart of it has to be your customer.
Naturally.
That's one thought. And I think the other thought is there is no CX without EX, right? Would you agree? I mean,
totally.
You can't just do an amazing customer experience and then ignore your employees.
Yeah.
So if I just pick up till now, there's multiple facets to transformation, but let's just pick up the innovation dimension.
Right.
So, we went to the cloud, right? We did a lot of modernization, removal of our technical debt, and then you guys brought along with OpenAI, generative AI. Right?
Correct.
So we were able to, thanks to what we had done, I think within a few months, if I'm not mistaken, from soup to nuts, within 3 to 4 months, 100 days perhaps, we at least got Sky Live, right, as a conversational channel. Right? We never conceived of it as just something that answers booking, answers queries of customers, which it does today, right? So 93% of the queries are just answered. But also we thought of it as a channel, a direct channel where customers can just converse and book, right? And it's not gone completely exponential as yet, but it's early days. So getting an innovation out for our customers, in the form of Sky is one great example, right, of why we do all of this, right?
That is outstanding. 93% responses. The power of AI literally building your transformation, and obviously that requires a lot of foundational stuff to be right. Yeah. So what what advice would you give to your industry peers, or what should they be learning from you about building an AI-first organization? How do you make it real?
Yeah, I mean, just first thing, I mean, I don't think I'm in a position to give advice, but generally, I think India is doing extremely well, right? A lot of my colleagues are pushing the boundaries in India today, right? I used to feel that we don't dream big enough, but in India, right? But I mean, today with UPI, what you guys are doing, it's amazing what the country is going through, and a lot of my peers are pushing the boundaries, right? Perhaps a few thoughts that we are trying to drive.
Yeah.
One is, I mean, we live in the AI era, right?
True.
Pretty much everything is going to change as a consequence of AI. It's already seeping into pretty much every aspect of business, society, personal, right? So perhaps one thing is bias for action, just get on with it.
Get on.
We got on with it, right? With Sky, we are seeing some amazing kind of outcomes for our business. And then just get on with the next wave. I mean, to some extent, generative AI is now, at least I feel it's kind of, we are maturing it.
Yeah, 2 years already.
It's 2 years. Amazing how time flies, right? But what's coming up with agentic AI, right? We've had the lab working on agentic now for 6 months. We've had more setbacks than successes. But again, the advice would be, bias to action. Don't wait. Get on with it. Get your hands dirty. You learn a lot as a consequence.
And the pace of change for AI is really not going to slow down anytime soon. What tech companies are doing, what you're building in your COE, they're all pivoted around the 4 pillars of AI transformation. How do you empower employees, engage customers, bend the curve on innovation, and reshape business processes? That's really what we need. And you at IndiGo, with what you've done across the organization, is just a remarkable testament to what AI can do to transform businesses.
You cannot do it. Transformation is a team sport. It's got just nothing to do with me, my entire IndiGo digital team. More importantly, our CEO, the various stakeholders, our board, our founder, all our businesses are together in this journey, right? We call it the power of we in IndiGo. And without that power, I mean, the transformation is just not going to be possible.
No, it's bought all the way at the top. Every employee gets to experience it. That's actually how we see transformation become real in every organization.
So thank you for your partnership, right? Because the power of we extends beyond the shores of your organization today, right? We talk about ecosystems, but really, as you and me were just discussing offline, right? That partnership and ecosystem is equally important, symbiotic relationship.
So Neetan, we just talked about how intently IndiGo focuses on customers and your passengers. I'm sure there's a new generation that is now learning to fly IndiGo. And in order to be relevant to them, you do need to know their language. So I'm going to ask you a few questions that were there. So tell me, what does bet mean in the jargon that possibly your kids would understand?
Can I just call my daughter for this? This is one area I have no clue about. I know they keep saying, you bet, you bet. I don't know, what do you think it means? I have no idea.
Yeah, so bet means sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, what about, sigma?
Sigma? I remember alpha used to mean something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll conjecture a guess on this one. Does it mean cool?
Better than alpha, I guess.
Yeah, better than alpha, right? Yeah.
It's just remarkable to see your progress, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much, Alok and Microsoft, for a lovely time today. A good coffee and a good game of badminton. Yeah. And more importantly, thank you for your partnership in our transformation journey. As we say, if you look behind in transformation, we've taken a lot of steps together, including being 100% on the cloud. But as we look forward, there's still 1,000 steps to go.
Oh, of course.
We look forward to your continued
we'd love to partner with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All the best.